with Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, and playing center today, Dennis Rodman. Billups, Doug Christie, John Wallace, Marcus Camby celebrating his 24th birthday, and the rookie, Tracy McGrady, making. And the Raptors control the tip, and they'll take the first crack at the hoop. Chauncey Billups will run the point. Back to Tracy McGrady, youngest player in the NBA, watched by Scottie Pippen. Christie off a screen, watched by Jordan, takes the 16-footer, in and out.
You can see the Toronto Raptors right away looking to attack Michael Jordan. Doug Christie going right at Michael, trying to put a little pressure on him defensively.
Kukoc misses, and John Wallace brings down the rebound. Raptors 15-51 this season. Marcus Camby turns and he travels.
Good defense there by Tony Kukoc. This is going to be an interesting matchup in the game. Tony Kukoc, such an explosive offensive player, can break you down off the dribble, can shoot the three, and Marcus Camby, more of a defensive player than an offensive player. How they play against each other, whether Marcus Camby can neutralize Kukoc, will be a key.
Scottie Pippen over to Ron Harper, gives it off to Jordan, watched by Billups. Jordan, the fadeaway. No, in and out, and McGrady brings it down.
You have to wonder if it's the perception inside Skydome that bothers Michael Jordan, but he has really struggled shooting the ball here, Rod.
Well, so have both teams so far. We have zeros on the board, and we have played almost 90 seconds on this Sunday afternoon. Snow falling over the last couple of days in Toronto. As Pippen can't make it go, and there's one of the greatest rebounders to ever play the game, Dennis Rodman, playing center with the putback.
Well, Dennis Rodman, the leading rebounder in the NBA, averaging 15 boards a game, only had 4 rebounds against the Grizzlies Friday night and flat out said, hey, I didn't feel like playing, but obviously he's coming out aggressive in this game.
The Grizzlies actually out-rebounded the Bulls as Marcus Camby takes it to the glass.
We're seeing a lot more of Marcus Camby playing with his back to the basket in the second half of the year with Butch Carter than we did with Darrell Walker as the coach. Marcus Camby, a devastating offensive player as well as a defensive player in college when he was able to mix it up and play with his back to the basket a good deal of the time.
Rodman gives it off to Jordan. Michael, and all nylon for MJ, his first basket of the game.
He does such a great job of squaring up and getting right into his form. And look at the defensive end. Michael Jordan just taking the ball off the court with the big mitts.
Doug Christie losing it and Jordan taking it away. Here's Kukoc. Hails from Split, Croatia. Nice bounce pass from Pippen to Kukoc.
What a difference having Scottie Pippen back in the lineup for Chicago. Since he's been back, the team is 26-6, and he makes such a difference because of his ability to score, break people down off the dribble, just like Tony Kukoc and Michael Jordan.
Marcus Camby again, takes it strong to the basket. Marcus Camby brings his team back within 2.
That's a great move by Marcus Camby. Again, you're seeing the ability to put the ball on the floor, use his athleticism. Don't just rely on that perimeter shot like he did early on. Whether he can neutralize Tony Kukoc to take advantage of that matchup. And there's Michael Jordan getting off to a good start, 1 for 1 in this, 1 of 2 in this game. And Michael Jordan, again, such a good offensive player. You have to neutralize him. And Marcus Camby, if he can step up.
Chicago Bulls team, Tracy McGrady, as we mentioned, starting today. Butch Carter said he was going to throw him to the Wolves. I think the Wolves would be easier than the Bulls.
Well, obviously, Butch Carter's looking to get some production out of Tracy McGrady early in the game, try to get him excited. He wants to see energy from McGrady. And there you can see Tracy coming out and challenging that shot by Ron Harper. As an 18-year-old, McGrady's going to be confused defensively. Very difficult adjustment in the NBA. All Butch wants to see is a lot of energy in him attack people at the defensive end of the court.
Dennis Rodman fighting it out with John Wallace, but the Bulls take over again. It is a 6-4 game, Chicago. Rodman way over for Pippen, but Marcus Camby has it off his foot. Camby on the ground, and there's Michael. To Kukoc, to Pippen.
That's what you have to appreciate about Michael Jordan's game. Maybe the greatest player ever to suit up in an NBA uniform. You could see 2 loose balls now in this game. He's gotten on the floor and picked them up. That's what separates him from a lot of other outstanding players. He's willing to do all the dirty work as well as score.
Camby fakes Kukoc in again, and we have a foul on the floor.
Marcus Camby really coming out aggressive, Rod, and good things happen for Toronto. Here he loses the ball, but watch Michael Jordan right in there, getting on the floor, making sure he gets the basketball, and they're making a good decision at the other end. Kukoc almost turns it over, but Pippen gets it and able to finish it off. Chicago makes everything look so easy, Rod, but the reason is they play great defense. They will be on the floor, they'll be on the glass, and they really do a lot for their game, all based on their defense.
Camby's second won't go, so the Raptors trail now by 3. Under 8 minutes to go in the first quarter here at Skydome. Jordan coming up through the middle. Michael fading away again.
Now you can see Doug Christie could not have played Michael Jordan any better than that. He got his hand up. Michael Jordan had to pump, finally fading away in the shot. He's so good, he can still make it.
And he gets back on defense like a cat. He is immediately back.
That's the exact word right there. When I talk to young players, when they watch Michael Jordan, think of a cat in the woods. That's the way Michael Jordan plays. Tough shot there, John Wallace. He needs to get going. John Wallace has struggled a little bit offensively last couple of games. He's capable of putting a big night out, and he has to do it in this game.
Still a three-point game. Kukoc for 3. Chauncey Billups underneath, taking it away from Rodman. And Ron Harper brings it back. And underneath, Pippen off the glass. Rodman's there. Kukoc is there.
A lot of folks forget that Tony Kukoc is 6'10". He can get in there. He can get in the glass. He's got good legs. He's lively. And the Raptors, you can see on that play, they tried to take off down the court. Hey, you can't go and you can't run until you get the basketball.
Camby one-on-one with Kukoc, spinning. That's off. There's Wallace underneath, taking it up strong. John Wallace, it goes in.
Big-time rebound. John Wallace, he tried to escape at the defensive end, but here on offense, getting the rebound and going up strong.
12-9, Chicago. Kukoc looks inside for Harper. Ron Harper to the basket. And again a putback, and you can start to see now why Butch Carter has been shaking his head lately. He has been telling his team, let's get tougher underneath.
Yeah, and one of the players that has hurt Toronto for the Chicago Bulls has been Ron Harper. He's averaged almost 15 points a game against the Raptors, taking advantage of a smaller backcourt at the point.
Doug Christie.
Doug Christie, he's another player that shot selection can be a problem at times, but when he gets hot, and we've seen it here in some of our games, Rod, when he gets hot, you have to watch out because he can put a bundle of points together in a hurry.
Still a three-point game. Kukoc looking for Jordan, takes it himself. Almost lost it. Left-handed shot. And there's John Wallace. Up court to Billups with Michael right in front of us with the steal. Talk about the cat. And Doug Christie steals back. Jordan with a hand in. Christie stops and doesn't make it go, but John Wallace is there, but it's going the other way.
Offensive foul. John Wallace looked as if he pushed Dennis Rodman before he got his hands on the basketball.
Well, it's going to be missed on my part. I mean, Michael's definitely been one who's been very inspirational in my career and having me to grow with him and learn a lot of things from the game and playing alongside him my whole career. It's been wonderful, and it's going to be very difficult for me to look alongside and see who's beside me next season, and knowing that it's not number 23, at least Michael Jordan. So it's going to be tough, but life goes on, and we knew that somewhere down the road that this may happen, and it's a good thing that we're both prepared for it.
Superhero. They always have to have their tag team partner. Oh, Michael Jordan, the hero of Space Jam. What did they call them? The Bulls had Superman, Batman, and Rodman.
Well, Rod, it's really interesting. Before Michael Jordan had retired, when he went into baseball for a while, Scottie Pippen was outspoken about, hey, I'm a great player and I could play without Michael. I think when Michael Jordan went away for a while, he really learned to appreciate the value of Michael Jordan to his game. It just made life a lot easier. And Scottie Pippen, although he showed everybody in the NBA that he's a capable player and could handle himself on the court, made a big difference with, obviously, Jordan being there.
Let's bring in our courtside reporter, Sandra Neal.
Guys, Butch Carter already concerned in that huddle that his boys are looking exhausted. He told them 7 minutes in, you can't be tired against the Bulls. You got to get physical. It's bad enough that they're shooting, but you're letting them get those second chances.
Marcus Camby gets physical underneath to the basket, but Dennis Rodman is there. And here comes Scottie Pippen for 3.
He makes it look so easy. Scottie Pippen just nailing that jump shot in transition.
That is 5 for Pippen.
You know what Sandra Neal told us, Rod, it's been a big concern of Butch Carter. He says conditioning, sometimes our team fades away. Sometimes we just aren't doing the things we need to do. It's not a question of ability. It's a question of whether the effort can be sustained. And he really has been stressing the extra work, the extra running, the extra weightlifting.
Christie, that's off. Wallace, the putback.
Dennis Rodman wasn't too happy about that. We saw John Wallace get caught pushing off earlier. Now again, Rodman seemed to just fade underneath the basket with John Wallace being there. And John Wallace already has 4 rebounds, and that matches Rodman here early in the game.
It is a 4-point game, 17-13. 3.5 minutes left in this first period. Jordan fouled by Doug Christie.
Jordan quickly got that first step by Doug Christie, and Doug leaned on him a little bit, forced him, pushed him on the baseline with the body. Now, we talked about John Wallace contributing on the boards early. He has to have a solid game on the glass. A double-figure game, at least 10 boards in this game, would be very appropriate for John Wallace if the Raptors want to compete.
Kukoc threw it away. Tracy McGrady was fronting Scottie Pippen and doing a good job on him. And now a chance for the Raptors to narrow this lead. Billups watched by Harper. Chauncey Billups to the rack. And a foul. He'll go to the line. Dennis Rodman picks up his first personal of the game.
A big-time move right there. Chauncey Billups with the ability to break the defender down off the dribble. Chauncey's a deceptive player. He's quicker than he appears to be. He's got good size. He's able to get to the basket to create a lot of his own shots, and he's a good finisher, Ryan. He's also a guy you do not want to put on the free throw line. If I'm not mistaken, that's 39 straight free throws.
39 straight.
I don't think anything surprises me with this team. Phil Jackson at the beginning of the year said there's no way he'll be talked into coming back. He's wavered on that a little bit in the second half of the year. And even Michael Jordan, who said he'd never play for Phil Jackson, has made a few comments lately that, hey, you know, maybe we'll just see what happens at the end of the season. So you never know. This is a team that loves to have that soap opera atmosphere of daily issues being discussed by the media, and they thrive on it.
John Wallace turning, blocked by Pippen. Reggie Slater in the game for the Raptors. Into the game for the Bulls is Scott Burrell and Randy Brown. Reggie Slater gives it up to Burrell. Here comes Brown. Randy Brown gives it off to Scott Burrell. Came over from the Golden State Warriors in a trade for Dickie Simpkins. Was a Bull again. Brown blocked by McGrady. Burrell. No go. Doug Christie brings it down over top of Michael Jordan.
But Tracy McGrady had that one block, and he really got up and challenged Burrell, forced him to take that three-pointer a little bit high. Good defense by the youngster.
Wallace. 10-footer drops.
You can see the difference. John Wallace matched up against Scottie Pippen. He got a piece of his last shot, but against Burrell, that height advantage is too much.
And the Raptors have their first lead of the game, and a foul on the floor. John Wallace, as you take a look at Tracy McGrady, that's why the Raptors lead the NBA in block shots. They can get up there.
Well, Tracy McGrady has a serious case of the hops. This kid can get up in the air quickly, and there's Scottie Pippen exploiting John Wallace defensively. John Wallace, this is a tough matchup for him. Offensively, he can do so much, but defensively, he struggles, especially against a player his size, like a Scottie Pippen, that can put the ball on the floor and go to the basket.
Wallace coming in off the screen. McGrady looked for him, saw Doug Christie instead, 20-footer, and he rattles the rim, but it goes.
Well, Doug Christie's got the confidence. He'll miss a few shots, but he will keep shooting. And, you know, Rod, we talk about it over and over. If you want to be a great shooter, you can't worry about the missed shots. You try to take good shots, but the bottom line is you keep shooting. The old rule is make till you miss and miss till you make. You have to keep putting them up.
The Raptors on a 9-2 run. That's off. And here they come again. Toronto with some hustle. Christie doesn't go. There's Slater with another rebound and knocked out of bounds, but the Raptors will hang on to it.
Butch Carter loves what Reggie Slater brings to this team. He will come in, he will bang, he will be physical. Without a doubt, the most physical player in the Toronto Raptors team. He will come in. He's not afraid to sacrifice his body, as we've seen already in this game.
Doug Christie takes Jordan to the hole, and Pippen is up there too. Ball was blocked, but we have a foul.
And that guy right there, Doug Christie, is the second most physical player in the team for the Toronto Raptors. For a guy of slight build, Doug Christie loves the contact. He likes getting inside, and we've seen it over and over in the post area, Rod. He is very difficult to stop because of the quickness of his moves.
Scott Burrell is nailed with the foul. Dennis Rodman sits down. Dickie Simpkins comes into the game. And we should also mention the Bulls without Luke Long. And Christie makes them both count. And the lead for the Raptors is 3.
Raptors have also gotten to the line 6 times in this game, Rod. The Bulls have not been to the free throw line as of yet.
And a whistle.
Rod,
One illegal defense violation.
One of the key things we talked about in this game is rebounding. Toronto with a 15-11 edge. A lot of those coming on the offensive glass. So very, very important for Toronto to sustain that effort if they want to stay in this game.
Oliver Miller comes into the game, replacing John Wallace. Michael Jordan trying to get jacked up, and he gets fouled by the guy named Bull, Reggie Slater.
And a good foul by Reggie Slater. Michael Jordan, great job of getting in on the baseline, going up strong. But then Reggie Slater's there to meet him, and you don't want to give Michael anything easy. Make him work. If you have to put him on the line, go ahead. But you got to make sure he knows that when he comes in there, he is going to be challenged.
The Bulls owning a 9-2 record against the Raptors, 3-0 this year. Michael Jordan leading the NBA in points, 3rd all-time in the NBA. Canadian Bill Wennington into the game. Six points now for MJ. Last minute now. Billups on Randy Brown. Good defender, Randy Brown. But Billups puts it up. A rainbow goes.
Very tough shot. Randy Brown, when he comes in the game, he's in there to shut the other point guard down. He's a tremendous defensive player. Billups putting up a very difficult shot.
Christie on Jordan to the basket and one.
Well, whatever Butch Carter told his team about not being tired, the Toronto Raptors have come out with a lot of energy. Doug Christie loves going coast to coast. You see him on this play. Once he gets it in the open court, he will most often go to the bucket looking for that foul because he's got great size. You saw him protect the basketball, taking it from one side to the other, and then he always finishes getting to the free throw line. Unfortunately, not able to get another free throw to go down. The Raptors missing 3 already.
Differential of 5 seconds between shot and game clock. Some pressure from the Raptors. Scott Burrell, who got that last foul, reverse layup doesn't go. And Toronto gets a chance at the last basket of this first quarter. And a good first quarter by the Toronto Raptors. Tracy McGrady clearing it out. 5 seconds. 4. Working on Scott Burrell. The kid takes the shot, and it's off.
Taking a break right now, and you can see 6 points here in the game in his matchup with Doug Christie, who he considers, Rod, one of the top 2 or 3 defenders he has to face in the NBA.
Well, I'm sure as we get the ball right here.
Great hands there, buddy.
Thank you very much.
You know, as a matter of fact, I thought Scott Burrell saw you open because he saw you shoot before the game.
Yeah, that was, I've been working on that play. The triangle, except I'm missing 2 angles.
And no comment.
Oliver Miller inside. Scottie Pippen now.
Oliver Miller's been
on
struggling, Rod. He's been struggling around the basket lately. He's rushing his shot instead of just going up strong and using his size to his advantage, which right now he almost is at a disadvantage because he goes away from the basket and rushes too much. But there's a guy that's really finding his stroke, Scottie Pippen. 9 points already for Pippen.
You would have to think in line for a very big raise someday. D. Brown into the game for the Raptors. A bargain player, you would think, at $2.7 million a season.
Oh, absolutely. Well, much like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen is underpaid relative to his market value in the league, and Michael Jordan was underpaid for most of his career. Now, obviously, making $30+ million. The Chicago Bulls have rewarded him, and Scottie Pippen's going to be in the situation himself where he will have to be paid fair market value. Now, a lot of people say that a lot of that could be on Pippen's shoulders himself, Rod, because he elected to sign a long-term contract when rumor has it that the Chicago Bulls' Jerry Krause himself advised Pippen not to sign a long-term contract because he will be undervalued at one point or another.
Oliver Miller gets his big hand in there, but the Bulls get it back. There's Pippen off to Judd Bushler. He buries it.
Oh, when Judd Bushler comes into the game, you better get a hand up. A tremendous role player. He knows just spot up, give the open shots, and hustle and work your tail off on defense.
McGrady lobs into Miller on Wennington. Back to Tracy McGrady. Got it for three.
Tracy McGrady has spent a great deal of time since the All-Star break really working on his shooting, trying to get it back. Assistant coach Jimmy Thomas spends time with Tracy McGrady every single day, helping him get his shot where it should be.
Bill Wennington, born in Montreal, played his college ball at St. John's. Member of Canada's national team in the past. Pippen, that's way off. And D. Brown, one of the co-captains of the Raptors. Feed inside to the big O, Oliver Miller with the big flush.
That was a big-time pass by D. Brown. He looked up court, waited for Oliver Miller to get a little bit further down court so the big fella wouldn't jeopardize the play by putting the ball on the floor, and gave him a beautiful pass.
Randy Brown slashing in, and he'll go to the line and a foul.
Look at this pass right here. D. Brown just hanging on. He waited an extra dribble, so all Oliver would have to do is catch it and put it up. You have to remember, when you're throwing a pass, a lead pass to your big guy, if you put him in a situation where he has to put the ball on the floor, Rod, more often than not, he may end up with a turnover. So you want to wait till he's in a better position. That's why it was a great decision by D. Brown.
Randy Brown can't make it three. Raptors still lead 31-27. Steve Kerr in the game for the Bulls. Chauncey Billups back in the game as McGrady went to the basket and drawing a foul. And it might be a good move by Butch Carter to put Doug Christie on the bench right now, with Michael Jordan getting rest at the other side.
Absolutely. Doug Christie has to play the heavy minutes for Toronto, and he's asked to do so much, not just defend a player like Michael Jordan, but Doug Christie has to score, he has to rebound, and if he can get a few minutes to take a blow right here while Michael's out of the game, very, very critical.
Marcus Camby comes into the game. Oliver Miller will sit down. I have been very impressed with Tracy McGrady since Butch Carter took over this basketball team, because Butch has given him a chance to play.
Well, he's given him a chance, but also he's teaching him how to play. And that's the important part of what Butch Carter's impact has been on Tracy McGrady. He spends time with him every day. He explains things. You have to remember, this guy should be a freshman in college. He doesn't understand the workings of the NBA or how to be a pro. And Butch Carter's taken his time to really explain that to him.
Pippen. Looking inside for Rodman, takes the three, that's way short. Bushler underneath, Steve Kerr takes the shot and scores it.
And there you have it, another big-time player off the bench for Chicago. Steve Kerr's been hurt an awful lot this year, hurt with his shoulder, with the knee. Once he's back, you have to get up, and that opens up the court for everybody else.
Marcus Camby, baseline on Pippen. Marcus can't make it go, and there is Rodman underneath. Dennis Rodman gives it off to Scotty, over to Randy Brown. Bulls still down 4. Kerr, one of the best three-point shooters in the game. Randy Brown, low post with Reggie Slater. Shot clock's at 7. At 6, Brown back out. Kerr, that's off. Rodman underneath, pulls it down in a fresh 24.
Dennis Rodman, you know he's always going to be there.
Oh, my! Hello, Raptors. Scottie Pippen pounds one down.
Well, Scottie Pippen say, hey, the jump shot's not falling, but I have this in my arsenal, taking it right to the bucket. But give Dennis Rodman some credit, because if he wasn't there for that offensive rebound, Pippen would have had that opportunity.
Chauncey Billups, nice feed. Camby lost it going up. Pippen to Brown, and a block by D. Brown. And the Bulls will hang on.
For Dennis Rodman, keep an eye on him. He's got Tracy McGrady. Look where he keeps him, underneath the basket. And Dennis Rodman never took his eye off the ball, Rod. He's fighting for position and always watches the ball. And then Scottie Pippen, the recipient of Dennis Rodman's hard work, able to take that ball right to the basket.
Bulls a chance to pull even, and they do.
Nice left hand right there. Scottie Pippen putting that ball on the floor right by John Wallace and going up with the left. in traffic. That's 13 points already for Scottie Pippen on 6 of 12 shooting.
We should also mention, as the game is tied 33, Dennis Rodman now has 8 rebounds. Wallace stops and pops.
John Wallace is a player the Raptors have to make an effort to get involved on the offense. He's a tremendous shooter, shoots around 50% on the season. Had a stretch of games where he's shooting about 56%. When you're that efficient, you need to have the basketball and you have to get your touches.
Rodman off to Pippen. To the basket on Camby, the reverse and a foul. And it's snowing in Toronto, but John Wallace has his springs working today. Wallace, 10 points so far for the Raptors, 4 rebounds, doing a good job underneath. And one of the reasons why his team
is really making the most of this opportunity to get the time, and a lot of people around the league realize he is a legitimate scorer in the NBA.
Michael is back on the floor. Tony Kukoc also back in the game, and we have a tie game again, 35-35, under 7 minutes to play before halftime. Phillips, some success penetrating today, but not that time. Kukoc with the block.
Yeah, very dangerous. Once you get in the lane like that, if you pick up your dribble, you're going to have problems. You have to make sure you keep your options open, and that's what the Chicago Bulls do. They make you pay for mistakes. Get it down, and Scottie Pippen knows how to get an assist. Just find Steve Kerr on the perimeter.
The hero of last year's NBA Final in Game 6 against Utah hit the game-winning shot. Bulls running back in this one. Doug Christie getting ready to come back. Double team on Wallace. And Michael Jordan brings it down. MJ to Pippen. Kukoc. Oh, backdoor to Michael Jordan. What a fake on D. Brown.
That's a big-time move. Michael Jordan just drew the defender away, never took his eye off the ball, and just flew underneath for that tremendous effort by Michael Jordan.
Chauncey Billups wanted a foul, and you know what? He was right on. Scottie Pippen was all over him, but didn't get it.
Watch Michael Jordan in here. Oh, unbelievable move right there. Just anticipated that ball was going to be thrown back under the basket, took his man out, Chauncey Billups, and just came back with a good V-cut, and that was it.
So my imagination, or when the Chicago Bulls play, all of a sudden they turn a switch on, and they're right back in a ball game if they happen to be trailing at any point.
Well, that's the dangerous thing about Chicago, and that's why we talk about you have to have great transition defense, because this team will take the game away from you in no time. And look at that, Scottie Pippen taking advantage of one Chris Garner in a post, and John Wallace came over to help a little bit too late.
Chris Garner, one of the rookies for the Raptors, 5 rookies in the game. We got a traveling violation. Bulls take over.
Wallace tried to make a move, but not only was he played by Rodman, but Michael Jordan came in there to sandwich him, forced to travel.
41-35. Kerr to Kukoc. Kukoc watched by the rookie McGrady. Takes it to the basket. Left hand. Tracy McGrady the block. Rodman underneath. Christie hangs on. The Raptors trying to narrow the lead again. Nice feed. Oh, Camby to Wallace. What a play.
Beautiful pass. Marcus Camby, complete awareness where John Wallace was at all times, and Wallace with the strong finish.
The lead is 4. Jordan wants the ball. Gives it to Scottie. He's hot.
That's a walk right there. Nice pass by Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen dragged the pivot foot on the shot fake. The Raptors benefiting from a little call from the officials. Looked like it would have been an easy 2 for Chicago.
Tracy McGrady sitting down, and he will be examined by athletic therapist Chuck Mooney. Chauncey Billups comes in.
McGrady really surprised Tony Kukoc. You saw Tony Kukoc when he was in the post. Got a little casual with Tracy McGrady, figuring, hey, I got this young fella right here. I'm just going to back him in, get a little baby hook up, and Tracy McGrady, who could climb the ladder so quickly, was up there to send it away.
Ranks is we have a technical foul.
Scottie Pippen picked up a technical foul. I think it was in regards to that travel violation that was called against him. Wasn't too thrilled about the call. As a result, picked up the tee.
You know, if Michael Jordan hadn't retired for his baseball hiatus, The Bulls very well could have won every NBA title in the 90s.
Oh, absolutely. Not only that, but think about how many careers Michael Jordan affects. Look at a player like Karl Malone. How many MVPs might have Karl Malone have had if Michael Jordan wasn't around? Think about it.
As Brendan Malone once told me, the former coach of the Raptors, if that guy had only learned how to hit a curveball, I wouldn't have to worry about defending him. There's Camby to the basket. Rodman's there, and Kukoc brings it down. Raptors down by 3. 4 minutes left before halftime.
Michael Jordan wants the ball. He looked right at Steve Kerr, said he'd throw it down here.
Pippen out to Kerr, spots up. Rodman again. Look at the way he can grab the basketball underneath. Jordan off. Marcus brings it down.
Tremendous effort by Dennis Rodman. Keeps that ball alive, taps it to himself. Nice play there, Billups. And Michael Jordan coming from behind with the block. Again, you talk about the greatness of Michael Jordan. Misses the shot at one end. He's back at the other end, able to stop John Wallace coming from behind.
Butch Carter wanted a foul on Michael Jordan, but you won't get that call.
No, actually, that was all ball. You can see right there coming from behind. Michael's sneaky like that. Look at that steal right there, and watch his pass.
And look at this to Kerr. Kerr stops and misses. And a loose ball foul.
Tony Kukoc
on
picking
Tony
this
Kukoc.
call up. Now, a lot of times you'll see a player come down in transition and say, why are you going to pull up and take that shot? If it's Steve Kerr, hey, you're not going all the way. You are going to stop and take that jump shot. And Michael Jordan had a lot of confidence throwing it up ahead to Kerr.
Under 3.5 to go. Jordan comes up on Billups. Looking for Camby underneath. Here's Doug Christie. Christie stops and misses. Let's join Sandra Neal again.
Rod, just via the Raptors trainer Chuck Mooney. Tracy McGrady just a little winded with his matchup against Scottie Pippen. I know after Friday's game versus Detroit, Butch Carter accusing his team about being out of shape, but matching up against Pippen is pretty tough.
Dennis Rodman. Delay of game violation.
Marcus Camby a little upset about the fact that Dennis Rodman laid some wood on him when he was trying to get that offensive rebound, and Dennis Rodman saying, hey, just play the game, young fella.
Marcus Camby calling for the triangle for the Raptors. Is it stolen? Pippen takes it in again, and Scottie Pippen has been shaking up the rim in Toronto this afternoon.
19 points already here in the first half. Scottie Pippen looking very, very smooth.
Wallace on Rodman.
That's why John Wallace, you got to keep him active offensively. John Wallace not far behind Scottie Pippen with 14.
Jordan gets double teamed. Kukoc looked to take the three, cuts in, Pippen launches for three. That's short. Here come the Raptors again, trailing once again by 3. D. Brown to Christie. Lost it inside, knocked out of bounds, and the officials say Bulls ball. Thanks to Scottie Pippen mostly.
Well, Scottie Pippen's been doing it from the outside and putting the ball on the floor and going to the hole like on this play. 19 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Good start for Scottie Pippen. Now the Raptors have to be careful. You talked about a little bit earlier, Rob, when we talked about the Chicago team, how quickly they can turn a game around. The Raptors back in February 19th were leading the Bulls right before halftime, 43-42, and the Bulls went on for a 68-point second half. So you really have to be careful when you're playing this team. What a block right there by Marcus Camby.
Camby on Jordan. Here comes Marcus. Over to McGrady. Back to Camby again.
Marcus Camby, nice job of getting rid of the basketball, giving it up to Tracy McGrady, who has that feel, able to get it back to Camby for an easy 2.
What is it about the Sky Dome that brings out the best in the Raptors against the Bulls? So far, so good. Down by 1. Now down by 3 again as Steve Kerr hits.
Michael Jordan doing a great job of finding his teammates. His shot's not there right now, but Michael Jordan, a very good passer, able to find Steve Kerr in the corner. And that's one of the things that Michael understands, that when you're not going well and you attract a lot of defense, it's the open man.
Camby. John Wallace can't make it go, but he brought it down again and brought it right over top of Dennis Rodman.
John Wallace told me before the game was former college teammate Todd Bergen, played for Syracuse, is here, and he wants to have a good game for his buddy.
A technical foul charge to the Raptors, feeling underneath.
Delayed game violation called against
I thought at first they were arguing a potential foul, but in fact it was a delay of game violation. It was their second, so it is a technical foul.
Tremendous effort by John Wallace on the glass, and Steve Curry, almost a 90% free throw shooter, knocks him in.
1:17 left. Reggie Slater's coming into the game for the Raptors. John Wallace will sit down. 46-44, Chicago. And a violation against Scottie Pippen on that baseline. I don't know what's going down there today, but Scotty's having a chuckle over it.
Scottie Pippen, laying violation on the baseline. Phil Jackson obviously not too impressed by this. You want to try to put away a team like Toronto when you're on their home court as quick as possible. Chicago allowing the Raptors to hang in there right now.
Deep round. And Michael Jordan rips it out of the hands of teammate Steve Kerr. Jordan wants it himself right now. On the rookie. Oh, dagger over Tracy McGrady.
Well, as soon as Michael Jordan realized that Doug Christie was not in the picture, you could see, hey, give me the basketball and I'm going to take this jumper right now.
45 seconds left before halftime. Camby on Kukoc. Marcus, left-handed, it drops.
That's an impressive move. Marcus Camby doesn't usually go to the left hand, but he has that long reach that he's able to get in. He's got 9 already.
He's having a little one-on-one game with Kukoc right now. Tony Kukoc bringing it out. 30 seconds left. Lead 2 again. Jordan to Kukoc. Pippen. Scotty stops.
Fake right there. Tremendous ball fake. Fake the pass over to Steve Kerr in the corner. Everybody reacted to it. And then one dribble, Jay.
21 first half points for Pippen. Raptors will play for 1 shot. Michael coming out on Doug Christie. Crossover. And a foul on Michael Jordan.
Now calling the Bulls number 23, Michael Jordan. That's his second foul.
His second foul of the game. 6.6 seconds remaining.
Michael Jordan with his second. He's good at playing with fouls. He understands what he has to do.
Camby way out. Yes! Marcus Camby with 2.3 left. But Rodman to Jordan. Out of bounds. And the officials with 0.8 seconds left are saying they are going to reset the clock to 1.2 and Chicago will inbound.
Marcus Camby hitting that big jump shot. As you mentioned, he's got 9. That makes it 11. Marcus Camby's done everything around the basket here in the first half, Rod. And that's when you want to start going to your outside game. Once you've had some success, you feel good. Now you can try your jump shot when you're in the groove.
Look out here with 1.2. They give it to Kerr. He can hit this shot. Not this time. But to stay with the Bulls, down by 2. Good matchup. Scottie Pippen, John Wallace.
Coach, you're practically matching the Bulls in scoring. You're out-rebounding them. You're the most vocal I've seen you. But how are you going to contain Scottie Pippen this half?
Well, it seems like the last game we played him in this game, he's really going out aggressively trying to get a lot of baskets. And if I can get Sharon to defending, then maybe we'll get him stopped here.
Got to get some moral support for this guy.
Well, she's been a real soldier for us. He went through a tough time, and he's been really good for us, and it's glad to have him back in uniform.
Good luck in this half, guys.
Thank you very much.
Sharon Wright not seeing any action in the first half, maybe the second. Scottie Pippen, the star so far, the guy who is leading the way. 21 first half points. And we're getting ready to start the second half now. Scottie Pippen will bring the ball up. Ron Harper, all of the starting fives back on the floor. Harper, Pippen, Jordan, Rodman, and Kukoc.
Now you really have to be careful when you're playing the Chicago Bulls team. They usually come right out in the second half and let everybody know that it's their game and they're going to take over. And that's illegal defense there by the Toronto Raptors. So very, very important for Toronto to maintain their concentration. As I mentioned, the last time these two teams met, February 19th, here at Skydome, the second half was a monster half for Chicago. 68 points in that half, and they blew the game open.
Second illegal defense violation, so Michael Jordan buries the free throw on the technical free throw violation. But it's tough in the paint today. Both teams rebounding very well, almost even, and also blocked shots. The Raptors leading the Bulls 7-5 blocked shot category.
On the blocked shots, Toronto Raptors are #1 in the NBA. Tracy McGrady stepping up in the first half with 4 blocked shots, Rod.
Pippen looking for Rodman, fighting it out with young Tracy McGrady. Kukoc, back out to Michael. Jordan starts off this second half by burying that one. And for Michael Jordan, that's 13 points.
Not a good sign when Michael Jordan starts out early because he looks like he wants to kind of get his game on track, and no hesitation there. As soon as he got the ball, it was gone.
Let's bring in Sandra Neal again.
Guys, following up on that conversation I had with Butch about Scottie Pippen, he says the problem is not the kid, making reference to Tracy McGrady, but that Pippen is in the zone. The Bulls keep switching. He's really tough to defend. What do you think about that, Leo?
Well, obviously, Scottie Pippen, one of the most versatile offensive players in the game today. And we talked about it at halftime, Rod. Why the Chicago Bulls would not make every attempt to re-sign him, I don't know. You have to obviously reward him, pay him the contract that he deserves. But if you can find a better player than Scottie Pippen to take his place, my hat is off to you.
Lead back to 5. Pippen with 23 now. Billups off to Wallace. John Wallace. Tracy McGrady gets it knocked away, and here comes Scottie again on a tear this afternoon at Skydome. Pippen inside to Rodman. Back out to Michael. Three-pointer.
Michael Jordan has really struggled from three-point land this season, about 23% from behind the arc. And Michael Jordan himself has said that that three-point line is a little bit too far for him. He doesn't take an awful lot of shots. Only made 22 three-pointers all season long. Likes to stay inside, take that middle-range jump shot.
John Wallace gets it back after shooting up an air ball. Chauncey Billups, a little circus shot. And a foul.
Chauncey Billups showing a little creativity there. Fake behind the back pass with the left hand. Came right back up looking for the foul. Watch this move right here with the left hand, fake the behind the back pass, and froze Dennis Rodman, but Ron Harper right there picking up the foul.
39 in a row for Chauncey Billups from the line. He's unconscious.
And if you can't jinx him, nobody can. Coach Carter spending time with Chauncey Billups, trying to help him with his understanding of the game, especially the two-man game. Majority of the offenses in the NBA boil down to a two-man game where somebody sets a screen for somebody and they play a pick-and-roll type of game. And Chauncey Billups having some trouble reading and making decisions in those situations. And Coach Carter put together sort of a little highlight film of what he's been doing so he can understand exactly what mistakes he's making and also what good things he's doing in some of those situations.
Another block by the Raptors, but blocked out of bounds.
Yeah, but all possible. Obviously, you want to block that shot, keep it inbounds, and there's an offensive foul. Scottie Pippen picking up the foul, pushing off. And for Scottie Pippen, that's just his first foul.
So the Raptors trying to get this crowd back into it too. Kind of quiet early in this second.
It's amazing that the crowd would be this quiet. I mean, you're down to the best team in the NBA by 3 points. Everybody should be on their feet and cheering, but this is the way the Skydome crowd has been pretty much for most of the entire time the Raptors have been in existence.
Grady off to Billups. Dennis Rodman brings it down. Well, maybe it'll change a year from now when the Raptors move into the Air Canada Center. Brand new building, but I'll tell you one thing, they won't get 30,000 plus in there.
No, absolutely not. But the atmosphere obviously will be a lot different. And even if fans are a little more subdued like they are here, it's still going to make a big difference. And we see that all the time at GM play. Saw Dennis Rodman getting in for the offensive rebound. Look at him battle for that ball, Rod. He gets in there, just gets his nose dirty, doesn't mind mixing it up. He'll sacrifice his body every time.
Some of those pro wrestlers helping him out with some of those moves underneath.
I haven't seen anybody go to the mat here.
Chauncey Billups picks up the foul.
You see the rebounds. Chicago with a 2-rebound advantage, but again, if you consider that the Raptors have been pounded on the glass for 19 straight games, and not just by a little bit, but they've really been having trouble on the glass. Tough pass right there. Scottie Pippen threw it to Michael Jordan well over his head. The pass is a little behind him.
Again, the Raptors a chance to make it closer. That's way off. Marcus Camby.
Yeah, you can see that shot really never had a chance. That's not a good look. I mentioned that shot Marcus Camby made from the perimeter in the first half. He was feeling good. Things were going good for him around the basket. Just step out and you take one. But when he comes out like that, he has got to put the ball on the floor and try to get to the bucket. He can beat Tony Kukoc with his quickness.
Ron Harper watched by Billups. A lot of switching going on underneath as Kukoc nails it from three-point land. And the lead is now 6.
Right back in early February, back in the 10th, the Toronto Raptors were at Chicago, and Tony Kukoc was really struggling, just not doing a good job, not hitting the shots. Came out with a monster performance at 21 points, 10 boards in that game, and really took it over down the stretch.
Wallace is short, but he gets it back and lost it again. Kukoc handing off to Rodman and takes it right back. Bulls, this is danger zone time. Steve can run away from you in a hurry. Scottie again in the corner. That's a 2-point effort for Scottie Pippen. Now 25 in the game.
Scottie Pippen doing a great job of reading the defense. All he did was watch where everybody went in their triangle offense, how the defense played, just faded back to the corner and was wide open.
Boy, basketball IQ, they're members of Mensa. These guys are unbelievable.
Now, is that a health club?
Not our club, that's for sure. Doug Christie inside. Wallace trying to get it going again. And a foul.
John Wall's getting some contact on that shot, right on the elbow. John does a great job of elevating. Once he gets in there and he turns in, he will get up quickly. He's got a solid vertical, and about 6'8", he's able to shoot over pretty much anybody that's guarding him, including bigger players, Ron. You know, it's so funny when you hear people talk about the triangle offense, and so many teams have experimented with it, including the Toronto Raptors. But the bottom line is you have to be able to read each other and have an understanding for the game, and that involves a lot of patience, because we saw the Toronto Raptors earlier this season misinterpret possessions. When they got the basketball, they thought it was a shot for them at every possession, when really you have to wait and be patient and just read, and knowing that your shots are going to come off of a lot of movement.
Jordan, oh, he got it again. That fadeaway has become his patent move now.
And again, you can't fault Doug Christie for that. Doug Christie played Michael Jordan as well as you could play. Force him to fade back, get that ball up high in the air. He still nails the shot.
826 straight games in double figures. Jordan has 15. Wallace, Michael Jordan. You heard some flush being slapped there, and no call as Doug Christie takes it in for the flush.
As always, Jordan comes from behind. That time, there definitely was some contact. We saw one earlier in the first half where he got it clean, but you could hear that one.
Jordan inside. Christie on him. Kukoc almost lost it. Jordan's open. Michael. Oh, my. Oh, my.
Spectacular.
Insert the appropriate adjective.
Michael Jordan with those big hands able to just pound the basketball, hang it up there. And then, you know, the hard part, people don't realize how hard it is when you're holding the ball in one hand, but then to release it softly over a defender. That is not an easy shot, folks.
Another one for the highlight reel. That was one big reel, by the way. Christie is off. 64-56, Jordan. Oh, my, again. He missed it, though.
Michael Jordan went with a little flair on that one. Normally, Michael will take the basic shots. That's why he's such a great player. His fundamentals are tremendous. That time going with a little bit too much extra. Chauncey Billups saying, hey, Mike, you know, I have a little in my bag, too, but Butch Carter wants to see the basic hoops himself.
A little game of horse going back and forth, but a lot of letters going up on the board. A lot of misses as Pippen picks up a foul. That's his second.
Michael Jordan one more time here. A great pass from Ron Harper. Get it up. And Michael, go to the left hand right here, and that's an easy layup. Instead, trying to add to his previous move with a little English off the glass with the right hand. Just couldn't get it to stay down.
Chauncey Billups will sit down. D. Brown coming into the game, and Marcus Camby also coming in. He's going to replace John Wallace. Steve Kerr will be inserted into the game for the Bulls.
That's one area where Chicago sometimes has a lapse in concentration. They will play with teams. They played a little bit with Vancouver the other night. They played with Toronto in this game. When they're in a big game, the one thing that you love about the Bulls is how efficient they are. They usually do not mess around. They go right to work, and they take you out of the game as quickly as possible.
Slater on Rodman. It's been a good battle. Very physical between the two. Slater right into Rodman that time. Ball will go. And look who comes down with it. Man with the golden locks. Pippen spinning. Scottie Pippen off the glass. Very easily done. And now he has 27.
Well, you can see even when Scottie Pippen is driving to the basket or spinning, he's always under control, Rod. He's able to stop on a dime, get that shot up, and he loves to use the backboard, much like his partner, Michael Jordan. And when you do, you have a lot more room to make a mistake on that shot. Nice and soft. A little miscommunication right there. Tracy McGrady was spinning for a backdoor.
Pippen again. Three-pointers off. Here's Slater. Raptors need a run now. They're down by 10. Biggest lead of the game for Chicago. Alley-oop to McGrady!
Some contact on the play. Ron Harper lost track of McGrady. Actually bumped into him on the alley-oop. Good pass, though. Looking down for the teammate. McGrady with his strong finish. See his leaping ability. Rod gets up quickly. Doesn't need a lot of time either.
Steve Kerr operating now with Harper. Jordan watched by Camby. Michael will take him to the hoop. And a foul right there. Reggie Slater.
Now you could see that hoop coming. Marcus Camby, Michael Jordan just before that tried to set a screen on Camby, locked him with his elbow. Camby held on to Jordan, so as soon as Jordan had a chance to get the ball back, he said, hey Marcus, understand something. I've been around here a long time. Don't hang on to me like that because I'm going to take you to the hole right now.
Michael Jordan, 6,700 career free throws in the game. 6,701.
Get another look at that alley-oop, Tracy McGrady. See that bump by Ron Harper as he was coming down. Michael Jordan, 4th in the NBA in free throws attempted. And he's in some company of some big players, which tells you a lot about his game. He's up there with Shaquille O'Neal, Karl Malone, Robinson, and then there's Michael Jordan. Gets to the line almost 9 times a game. And of course, Abdur Rahim from Vancouver right behind him at about 8.2 times a game.
Christie buries the 3 after Michael Jordan tried to knock it away from Christie, but that's 15 for Doug Christie. And the lead has been narrowed to 7. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Rodman looking inside for Pippen. Pippen spinning on Christie. Right to the basket again, and Scottie Pippen is lighting up the Raptors. That's 29.
And it's also several times in this game where Scottie Pippen has gone to the left hand in the post. It's a great move. Take that ball away from the defender, get it up softly on the glass.
Alley-oop attempt went astray. Pippen. Slater brings it down.
You know, Rod, that's what makes great players what they are. Scottie Pippen using that left hand more than I've seen him in previous years, adding something to his game, and that's what makes you a great player, when you can continually make yourself better, find different ways to score and take advantage of your opponent.
Christie stolen by Pippen. Scottie Pippen tried to go behind his back, and D. Brown picked up the foul.
Dennis Rodman already with 14 rebounds in this game, 6 in the offensive glass, and he just does such a great job of going after the basketball. And when you're a great rebounder, it comes from anticipation. You don't wait for the shot to be taken. You start anticipating. You know your teammates. You know who's going to shoot it is going to be, and then he goes after it. Because you know what? He's not the best leaper. He's not the strongest, and he's certainly not the tallest, but he's got the heart.
But certainly when you talk about rebounders in the history of this game, if he is not the best, his name certainly is up there with the best.
Well, when you look at all the great rebounders, as Ron Harper nails that jump shot, they're all a lot bigger than Dennis Rodman. They're bigger, they're stronger. Dennis Rodman just has a great feel for the game and a desire to get the basketball, and that's really what it boils down to. Tough shot there, Camby. over Pippen. So that's where, again, I talked about it in the first half. I like it when Marcus Camby gets inside, plays with his back to the basket. He's a much more effective offensive player.
2 minutes left in the third quarter. 72-63. Michael Jordan with 19. Scottie Pippen with 29 and Ron Harper short. And the Raptors fighting themselves underneath. And a loose ball foul. Will be walking away with the majority of the awards this tomorrow night on CTV. McGrady to D. Brown. That is short. Scottie Pippen almost lost it, bringing it back up court.
D. Brown has been very quiet in his basketball. He's been playing very well for the Raptors. Looks like that's going to be John Thomas picking up the foul coming in under Scottie Pippen. The Raptors really need D. Brown to step up. In last 7 games, averaging about 15 points a game. And again, he's a player that's very, very important to Toronto.
In this third quarter, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen have combined for 18 points. The rest of the Bulls, 3.
They understand it's crunch time. You have to step up. Michael Jordan very quiet in the first half, so you know that he is going to step up his game. And Scottie Pippen's just played great throughout, doing just about everything Phil Jackson could ask him to do.
The lead, 74-63, under 90 seconds left in this third quarter. D. Brown wanting Doug Christie to come over. Looking for John Thomas, perhaps. Thomas wanted the ball. Christie takes it inside, off balance, got it!
Now Christie may have gotten away with a little extra step right there, but good defense. Scottie Pippen tried to get there. Doug Christie, with his size, once he's in the paint area, he can make shots by jumping over people. Great athlete around the basket.
Dennis Rodman, no one near him. They give him that shot, but he won't take it ever. Rodman inside, reverse layup.
Well, maybe sometime. Well, Dennis Rodman, you can see how just anticipating where that basketball is going to be, reading his teammates and going right to the bucket.
Camby working on Kukoc. 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Marcus Camby now with 17.
Again, Camby in his comfort zone, playing with the back to the basket, able to make that fadeaway.
Steve Kerr, a runner. All net.
Shot right there. That's a shot you'd like to see Steve Kerr take if you're the Toronto Raptors. But even though he's taking a running one-hander, he still does the basic fundamental things correctly. That means he squares his shoulders up. Great form, great release, outstanding follow-through.
Last 10 seconds. Christie watched by Pippen. Raptors want this final shot. Christie will take it and gets it. 3 seconds left, though. Can the Bulls get one more? Pippen to Kukoc. And he's short. Michael Jordan, of course, is always the guy you have to stop when you're talking Chicago Bulls. Jordan with that fadeaway. John Wallace in the first half for the Toronto Raptors doing a job.
John Wall's really able to get to the glass using his size, going up strong. And when John Wallace is active on the glass, you know he can do the other parts of the game to turn around and so forth. That really makes the difference. And John Wallace, 18 points in the game.
Could you imagine if they could stop Scottie Pippen today, though the Raptors might be leading this ball game?
Well, Scottie Pippen has really stepped his game up. You know, you can see the stats right now. The
best news is Scottie Pippen takes that hot hand and sits down for a few minutes as Michael Jordan returns to the game. Scottie Pippen has a season high 31 today.
Amazing thing about this game, Rob, when you're watching the Chicago Bulls, it looks like they've barely broken a sweat. They seem very casual about it, yet they're very workmanlike. They're coming out here, they're playing, they're getting the job done without really seeming to get too stressed out about anything that happens out there.
Michael Jordan.
Oh, Dennis Rodman just walking in there saying, I'll take that.
It is so workmanlike sometimes. They make it look so easy as Steve Kerr takes it off to Michael.
They understand that you have to make the extra pass. They understand the little things you have to do to make the game easier.
Jordan one-on-one with Camby. Oh, can you believe that?
That's how the game becomes easy. Looking over the Chicago Bulls bench, some of the players just kind of looked at each other. Wow.
Jordan gave Marcus Camby a tap on the rear end on the way back and a little nod.
The old nice try, young fella. Michael Jordan usually lets you know how bad he's making you look.
80-69. Jordan on Christie. Inside to Rodman. And a foul, John Wallace from behind.
Nice pass by Michael Jordan. You see him get the ball up top, just waiting for the right opportunity. And here's Michael with that little running fadeaway right here over Marcus Camby. That soft touch.
21 for Michael Jordan, 8 of 17 from the field. He has been a scoring machine his entire career.
Actually, this season, when you look at Michael Jordan's numbers, a 50% career field goal percentage shooter. Dennis Rodman making the first free throw. And this season, though, Michael Jordan shooting about 46%. Now, a lot of factors to that. He had the injured finger. Also had, obviously, with Scottie Pippen missing quite a few games, not being in the lineup early on the season. A lot of teams focusing on Michael Jordan, putting a lot of pressure on him. That's obviously going to drop his percentage down. But as the season goes along, his percentage is gradually trying to climb where it normally is, as I said, around that 50% area.
Remember, he's 35 years old, and at his age, no one has been able to put up the numbers that Michael Jordan has so far.
See, I tell you what, Rod, I don't want to see this player retire. Michael Jordan should stay in the game. Now, maybe he might not be able to be a Michael Jordan like everybody expects, but he can still be one of the greatest players in the game easily, I believe, for at least another 2 or 3 years.
And, you know, you can base that just on the fact that he has developed that deadly fadeaway shot that no one has been able to stop.
Well, he's refined his game. He's made adjustments. He realizes he doesn't have to jump over people all the time, and he has that great jump shot. And the whole key is, Rod, his game is based on fundamentals. Even though Michael Jordan's a leaper and an outstanding athlete, his game is based on fundamentals. And I think that's so important for young players to understand. The reason he is as great as he is, he's got a solid foundation and a base to his game, and he's able to expand off of that.
82-69. Michael Jordan. 21 points in this game. Scottie Pippen, 31. They have combined for 52 points of the 82 that Chicago has scored. Kukoc, three-pointer is off. Oliver Miller into the game, pulls down the rebound, and here comes Chauncey Billups trying to get his team on a run.
Raptors have to get some movement. You can see right there, Randy Brown doing a good job defensively, and Chauncey Billups out in the perimeter.
Christie from the deep corner. Miller underneath for the putback.
A nice job there, Oliver Miller getting right inside. Good play. Billups getting inside, creating a little bit, finding Doug Christie. Could make the shot, but if Oliver Miller can go to the offensive glass like that, you can continue to take those shots.
There's Jordan with his 9th field goal of the day.
23 points, matching his number, almost getting the steal from Christie.
Again, a deep corner shot. This time, D. Brown. Will it go? No. Kukoc down. Steve Kerr gets it. Randy Brown to Jordan. And he's out of bounds. Big Chicago Bulls fan. Was actually out passing the ball around with Bill Wennington earlier today. Oh, there we are.
Shooting a few jump shots, breaking a sweat.
Check his form out. What do you think here?
Let's take a look. Oh,
break it down for us, Leo.
Not bad, not bad.
Didn't go in, though, I can tell you that.
Rod, obviously you've spent a little time on his shot because that ball did not go in.
Yeah. John Cusack started in a gross point blank. Some of us have a gross point shot.
Saw D. Brown at the other end finally get on track, get his first couple of the game.
Lead is 11. Jordan wanted the fadeaway, gave it to Kerr instead. Wide open look. Fortunately, missed it for the Raptors. Rodman back out again.
Dennis Rodman, again, doing such a great job of keeping the defender underneath the basket. He pushed Oliver Miller underneath, so that rebound would be bouncing in his direction. Oliver Miller wouldn't have a chance to get it.
Jordan again, bringing the crowd to its feet. Here comes Kukoc on the steal. Jordan trying it again. Reverse, and Michael decides he wants to put on a little aerial show right now. D. Brown off to Chauncey Billups. And there's Thomas. No go for the Raptors. Here comes Michael again. Stolen by D. Brown and knocked out of bounds.
Michael Jordan showing some of that old flair, getting up in the air, hanging. Watch this move coming up on the baseline, up, under to the other side. And again, that English off the glass. Michael's so proficient at putting that ball in the right spot with just the right amount of spin to make it look easy.
Another routine 25 for MJ, 86-73.
Rod, it's amazing. You and I were both at the NBA All-Star Game, and just watching the way the crowd reacts to every single move that he makes, absolutely electrifying.
And let's be honest, the 30,000 that are here today may be Raptor fans, but you know who they came to watch.
Absolutely.
Billups. Oh, Tracy McGrady. A thunderous dunk.
Here you can see his abilities in the open court. If Tracy McGrady and the Raptors can get some up-tempo going here and get some transition opportunities, you can see how he can explode to the basket.
Jordan, short. More than anything, get this crowd back in the game.
Exactly. Watch it.
Alley-oop. McGrady keeps it in bounds. Billups is there. Perhaps they should have gone with the numbers there for the easy layup.
Exactly. You don't want to get into that spectacular until you really get the rhythm going. But there, nice job. Chauncey Billups finding Tracy McGrady wide open in the corner. And Phil Jackson's really upset at Tony Kukoc. Watch this dunk right here. McGrady taking it home. But Phil Jackson quite upset at Kukoc for not guarding Tracy McGrady in the corner.
He's 78. Phil Jackson, Chicago Bulls leading the Raptors. Might this be the end of Phil Jackson's reign and the Bulls' run for Chicago?
Will be markedly different. In fact, I'm kind of looking forward to the time when it is. We're enjoying it. And don't mistake the fact that this attention hasn't been a blessing in many ways to keep us on tune. But at some level, we know it has to end, and when it does, reality will come back, and we'll be back to ground one again and be back in, I think, stride. And all of us are looking forward to the less lights and less camera attention.
But what a great run it has been, and it still isn't over. Far from it for the Chicago Bulls. They're calling this right now, if they can do it again, the repeat of the three-peat as they go for their 6th NBA championship.
Well, Rod, without a doubt, I think they can. You saw Michael Jordan right here getting fouled by D. Brown on the wrist, but this is a tremendous team, and unless something happens, if they can stay healthy and they can continue to do what they're doing, without a doubt, this team is going to win another championship. You know, you might beat the Chicago Bulls once, you might beat them twice, but to beat them 4 times in a series, I don't think it can be done by any team in the NBA today. The only chance, maybe in a 5-game series, maybe you can sneak a couple in there, but I'll tell you what, no way are you going to beat this team in a 7-game series.
Jordan 7 of 7 from the line. 27 for Michael. Dickie Simpkins steals it from Oliver Miller, who threw Simpkins to the ground.
Simpkins doing a nice job of pressuring Oliver Miller. Kept his hands up the whole time. It's so important to do that when you're trapping or bothering somebody on the pass. Keep your hands up, keep them active. You never know when you get a deflection and get a chance to get a turnover.
Well, the last 2 times the Chicago Bulls and Toronto Raptors played on CTV in this building, the Raptors were able to pull it off. Of course, that was a team in a different era. Stoudemire era, team that had gained a few victories. This is still a team very much in transition. The youngest basketball team in the NBA, the Toronto Raptors, up against one of the oldest and one of the wisest. Oh, again, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's just a shame that he can't jump the way he used to, isn't it, Rod?
It's too bad he doesn't have those hops anymore. Imagine what he could do.
I tell you what, Michael Jordan compared to last season, I think he's jumping better and exploding into the basket better this year than he did last year. He's got plenty of hops left. Think about how many players can do what he just did. Marcus Camby, nice little up and under move on the baseline.
Raptors are still staying close enough to make it interesting. 10 down with 5.5 left. Oliver Miller with the steal on Tony Kukoc. Miller to McGrady. That's off. Camby turns. McGrady again. Michael's there. Billups has it. D. Brown off to Marcus. Camby spinning. Lost it. Knocked out of bounds. And let's take a look one more time at the patron saint of airball.
Michael Jordan just getting inside, just exploding to the basket with the strong finish. Once he sees that opening, he will get to the cup as quick as anybody.
7 assists for the bench Bulls.
Phil Jackson confirming those statistics at the scorer's table.
That's right, with the play-by-play for the Chicago Bulls, Neil Funk.
Billups now. They'd like to get this into single figures, but not this time down the floor. Scotty on the run, back in the game with 31 points. Season high for Pippen. Michael Jordan been putting on a show for these Skydome fans today. Jordan spinning, turning. Oh, and that one's short.
I don't think he could have faded back any further.
He would have been in Butch Carter's lap. There's John Wallace underneath and a foul.
Well, John Wallace has had a very, very quiet second half. John Wallace in the first half, 16 points. Only has 18 points with 4:44 to go in the game. So John Wallace has been pretty much contained by the Chicago Bulls in the second half, right?
Doug Christie will check back in as Wallace makes it 19 for the game. It's been quiet this second half, as have the Raptors.
Well, Chicago has a way of doing that to you, and you see a 9-point difference with as I said, 4:44 to go. There's still an awful lot of time in this game if the Raptors try to make sure. Obviously, defensively, you have to get a few stops, but offensively maximize every single possession.
Steal by the Raptors. Wallace hangs on to the basket. There's Camby on the follow. And a big follow for Marcus Camby, and the lead is 7.
Well, Marcus Camby goes to the glass hard like that. He can be an unbelievable player. You can see that time just climbing up above everybody else. Camby with 7 boards in the game to go with his 21 points.
Pippen to Kerr. Crowd now starting to make a little noise. They have been very quiet this second half. Jordan calls for it. He gives it away. Wanted a foul.
And Michael Jordan signaling to Scottie Pippen, hey, when I'm getting collapsed by the defense like that, you have to fade to the corner. And here we get a look at that Marcus Camby offensive rebound. Nice job of getting to the glass, but a little miscommunication at the other end for Chicago. Marcus, should say Jordan throwing it to the corner where he thought Pippen should have been. And that's
and one!
Opportunity.
And one to John Wallace.
Good strong move. John Wallace putting the ball on the floor, getting into the middle with the left hand right here, but on the ball on the floor outside of Rodman. There's the contact, and Wallace able to hang in the air just long enough to get it to the glass.
The lead is 5. Wallace is 3 for 4 from the line today.
A lot of time in this game.
The lead is 4. And these Raptors calling for noise. Marcus Camby wants noise. John Wallace telling the crowd to get into it. It's almost as if they've been sitting back watching the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen show. Kukoc to Kerr. Michael wants the ball on D. Brown. Jordan looking for Pippen. Instead takes it himself. Michael Jordan's off. Rodman's there. Raptors trying to get the ball. Triple teaming Rodman. Ball knocked out of bounds, and the Bulls will hang on.
That's unfortunate for the Raptors. Great defense by D. Brown on Michael Jordan, but Dennis Rodman again saving the play by keeping it alive, tapping it to himself. He's got 18 boards in the game already, 3 above his league-leading 15 boards a game average.
3:27 left, 90-86, and the officials are now conferring with the scoring table. Clock been reset to 3 seconds. Jordan lets it go. He'll have to let it go. And blocked by D. Brown. And the shot clock expired.
2 possessions in a row now. D. Brown getting in the face of Michael Jordan. The first time disturbing the shot, and on that attempt, blocking the shot.
Michael's not happy.
Good help here. D. Brown coming over as you saw Michael Jordan getting by Camby. And that's the chance you have to get Michael Jordan when he's distracted by the first defender. The second one can come in, and Brown hits the jump shot.
Oh, they're still hanging in. D. Brown brings the Raptors within 2.
Rod, I mentioned earlier how D. Brown is so important to this team playing well. He's been quiet in this game. A couple of big buckets and big blocks coming late.
And Scottie Pippen is fouled underneath as the Bulls try to push that button once again and turn it on.
Get another look at D. Brown, that pull-up jumper coming off the screen, able to stop at a dime and just rise up. Steve Kerr trying to go underside, and that's where he got beat.
6 turnovers for the Bulls in this fourth quarter. Raptors on a 10-5 run right now. Pippen makes it 32 for him today.
Perfect at the free throw line, 5 of 5. Also has 4 rebounds and 4 assists.
And the lead has been extended again to 4, but the Raptors continue to stay with the Bulls.
God, I can't believe that the fans here aren't up and screaming. This is a tremendous opportunity for the Toronto Raptors, and the fans are just so subdued.
Marcus Camby again. Is he ever having himself a happy 24th birthday?
And Marcus with 23 points is also starting to get a little bit more active and involved here down the stretch on the offensive glass.
Kerr to Kukoc. Steve Kerr. Michael Jordan says, give it to me. Just give it to me.
Good help by John Wallace. D. Brown got taken out, but John Wallace was right there. And the Raptors have an opportunity to tie or take the lead.
Christie. Watched by Pippen, gives to Wallace. 92-90, 2 minutes left. Can you believe these Raptors against the Bulls? Again! Again! John Wallace says yes!
Well, John Wallace doesn't shy away from taking big shots down the stretch, Rod. He loves the challenge. And that time you could see as soon as he got it, he knew he was going to put that ball up. And Wallace has 24 points.
92-92. Will this streak on CTV continue? Pippen off the glass, misses. Raptors get it back. Billups on the run to the basket, and a foul on Michael Jordan.
Chauncey Billups doing a great job in transition of using his body to shield Michael Jordan from the basketball. And finally, the crowd here at Skydome on their feet, appreciating the effort. You can see the Raptors huddling up saying, hey guys, let's finish this strong. And it's happening at the defensive end. Michael Jordan is being taken out of the game defensively. And here Wallace with that big jumper over Kukoc at the other end.
John Wallace, who's 24. Chauncey Billups has given the Toronto Raptors the lead, 93-92. And the streak continues from the free throw line for Chauncey Billups.
Perfect in this game, 4 of 4.
There it is, 43 straight free throws. The Raptors have a 94-92 lead, and Michael Jordan says, listen, give me the ball, let me take this over. Kukoc, back to Michael, D. Brown on him. Kerr, inside to Scotty. Pippen almost lost it. Christie all over him, the double team comes. Kukoc launches for 3, got it!
Nice job of reversing a basketball by Chicago. You can see right now with Doug Christie in the small forward position, he's matched up with Scottie Pippen and D. Brown, along with Michael Jordan at the defensive end.
Brown to Billups, to Wallace. Shot clock's at 6. Wallace, and it's a foul.
Nice job by John Wallace. A little fake, put the ball on the floor. He loves that little move around the foul line, forcing the defender to back up, attacking him. And Scottie Pippen, who caught one of his shots earlier in the game, picking a little bit too much risk on that shot and getting the foul.
A minute 2 left.
Right here, John Wallace able to get inside and getting up, and Pippen coming across the side, fouling John Wallace on the wrist. That's the 4th foul now for Scottie Pippen.
Wallace ties the game at 95.
John Wallace really stepping up big here. We just finished saying how quiet he's been in the second half, only scoring 2 up until the last couple of minutes, and now really taking over offensively. 8 points in the 4th quarter for John Wallace.
Steve Kerr works the ball now. Michael coming up behind his teammates. Rodman to the basket and to the line.
That's a killer right there for the Toronto Raptors. Dennis Rodman doing a great job of catching the back line of the Raptors falling asleep. Watch, nice pass from Michael Jordan. Rodman goes right in here. John Wallace reacting a little bit too late and picking up the foul.
The guy you least expect the ball at this time in the game.
You see, that's where the craftiness of a Dennis Rodman comes in. Pretty much doesn't look at the basket throughout the game, sees an opportunity there and takes it and makes the free throw. Toronto is doing a great job of getting back in this game, and offensively, look at the hot hand John Wallace has been doing real well. D. Brown getting it going right here.
but stolen by Chauncey Billups. Yes, the game is tied again.
Excellent reaction by Chauncey Billups, able to deflect the basketball, and he's another player that's not afraid to step up in crunch time.
But the Bulls are the very best, and this guy is the legend in crunch time.
Oh, smooth move by Michael Jordan.
You know he's going to do it to you. You know he's going to take this shot, and you almost know every time he's going to make it. 21 points for Michael Jordan in the fourth. 100-98 for his Bulls.
Right now leading the rebound battle by 2.
Differential of 4 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Billups to the basket. Blocked. There's Wallace. Underneath, knocked out of bounds. Raptor ball.
Tremendous drive by Chauncey Billups, and Wallace, give him some credit for getting to the glass and keeping that ball alive, giving the Raptors another opportunity. What a block by Ron Harper as Billups took it to the basket.
They will have all of the allotted time left to take a shot. Shot clock being reset. 15 seconds. Christie, yes! Doug Christie, a two-pointer. The Raptors have tied it up again. As your friend Bill Raftery would say, I took the shot, made it, but it didn't count. You can bet that Michael would love to take the shot now. And he got it again. 5.4 seconds left. Billups heaves it. No.
And the Raptors didn't have to do that. Chauncey Billups didn't have to throw up that shot, Rod.
Michael Jordan just gave us a wink and a smile. And look at it again.
Marcus Camby switching. You can see D. Brown coming over to try to help out, but it's too late. Jordan gets inside, elevates, and it's nothing but net again.
Please don't tell me that this is the last season we're going to see Michael Jordan, because he is an absolute icon.